Pumping and dumping stocks, or as the law calls it, securities fraud. It happens every day on the internet, and beginner traders get swept into this over and over again. We've talked about Atlas Treyding on this channel before. They have been found guilty of committing securities fraud by the SEC and the Department of Justice. Because of this, both of those law firms have access to these traders' transaction history, and in the legal filings, they went over what these people were tweeting and what transactions they were taking in their accounts behind those tweets. So we have a real in-depth case study of how pump and dumps work. And I want to go ahead and go through one of their largest pump and dumps today, go through the court document, go through the actions they were taking so that you all can understand how securities fraud works to retail traders so that in the future, hopefully you all can avoid these kind of moves. So make sure you do hit like and make sure you are subscribed for more future content, and let's just jump in. So this is CEI. Hopefully many of you have not heard of this. Hopefully many of you do not hear me say CEI and have your heart drop in your stomach because you perhaps stuck in this pump and dump. CEI, probably the most prolific one, probably the most talked about one, probably the one that made one of the larger moves. So it's the one that we're going to cover today. This is from August to October 2021. The stock at the time, it was a penny stock. Now the chart shows it went from 20 to 240, but CEI is an awful penny stock. So they've been through a handful of reverse splits, but at the time it went from like 40 cents to over $4. It was a huge move, and it was all fabricated from the lies that Atlas Treyding was telling their huge followings on both Discord and Twitter in order to get those followings to buy the stock so that they can then in turn sell the shares that they front loaded into that. And you're going to get to see examples of that from the court document. And as we go through the court document, I'm going to utilize TOS's on demand feature to go back in time and look at when this was actually happening. I believe I should be at the time now. Yeah. So we're going to go back in time and look at the pump and dumps as they happened as it pertains to the court document. So let's go ahead and jump into the document now. If I go ahead and go to this, here is the Department of Justice's official documentation against Atlas Treyding. I've made a video on this already. If you've missed that, I'll actually link it in the top right now if you want to watch a run through of the entire document. And I'll also link it in the description down below if you'd rather just read it yourself. Fair enough. But where we are now, we're in the examples, right? We're in the, hey, these are the stocks they pumped. This is how they did it. And obviously, as you can tell, we're looking at CEI. So let's just go ahead and read through at least the first two paragraphs here, get a little synopsis of what's going on. From in or around August 2021 to in or around October 2021, these subjects collectively pumped and dumped the security of issuer Camber Energy, CEI, obviously. Under the tick, okay, through false representations, pretenses, and material omissions. From in or around same time frame, the defendants collectively sought to pump the price of CEI by tweeting and posting in Atlas Treyding Discord approximately 1,000 times. Actually, I hadn't read that part yet. Indeed, the price per share of CEI rose from approximately 46 cents a share on August 3rd to a high of $4.37 a share on September 30th and closed an approximate price of $1.30 a share on October 29th. So there's your pump and dump. And now we're about to get into once again, this is no part of this is great. No part of this is awesome, but having access to what they were saying and what they were actually doing in their accounts. This is the part where we get to really deep dive into what a pump and dump is, how a pump and dump works. So during this period, certain of the defendants made false tweets and posts in the Discord relating to CEI to induce individual investors to purchase their security, while at the same time selling shares of CEI at a profit. So therein lies, I don't want you to read this and think that anybody that says a stock is going to go up is pumping and dumping. I'm not here to witch hunt anybody else. Atlas Treyding are the ones indicted. And they're actually, I don't believe, proven guilty yet. I know a handful of these admins are on house arrest right now. So they're definitely being looked at, but I don't even think they're proven guilty yet. And we're not going to witch hunt. But I also don't want you to think that anytime someone says a stock's going to go up, they're pumping and dumping, or even that you're not allowed to say a stock is going to go up. Where the issue comes in is making a stock go up with the intention of selling into that move. That's where the issue of pumping and dumping comes in, and that is what they did, and they admitted that they did it in other parts of the document. So the DOJ knows that's what they were doing. Anyway, on or about August 4th, 2021, at approximately 15:38. So this is where we're going to get into the past history here. So on August 4th, 2021 at 15:38. That is right here. That is this 1 minute candle right here. August 4th at approximately 15:38, PJ Matlock, that is the CEO, the founder of Atlas, PJ Matlock, falsely claimed in Atlas Treyding Discord that he was adding CEI with Dio, another defendant. That's cheap AF. Starting at approximately 15:39, literally 43 seconds later, PJ Matlock began to sell the 825,429 shares of CEI that he had previously purchased at an approximate price of 46 cents. So, and here, let me just keep reading. By approximately 15:54, Matlock had sold all of his position for a profit of $11.8 thousand. So there is the crux of all this, and we're going to keep going because it's very interesting to continue to read through this, but there's the crux of all this, right? They were saying, oh, we're adding. Okay, I'm adding now. And immediately after saying adding, they say that because they know it's going to get the price to move, right? Atlas Treyding, I think, had over 200,000 members. It might even be more than that, not to mention the millions of followers across all these admins that they had on Twitter. They knew that if they said stuff like that on these low float stocks, remember, low float stocks means there's a low supply of the stock available to trade. Just like the price of anything, if there's a low supply, it takes a smaller amount of demand to make the price go up, right? So these pump and dumpers focus on low float stocks. Be careful with people that only ever want to push low float stocks. Just critically think, and once again, not witch hunting. Not all low float traders are scammers at all. There's definitely people that make a lot of money on low floats, but critically think, hey, why is this person always talking about low float stocks? Maybe they want to get the price of it to move so that they can sell into you. This is the conversation I want to start having. The point of this video is I don't want you guys getting caught in this stuff. But anyway, I rant. He says, hey, I'm buying here. And immediately after he says that, this is what causes this candle. This is 1537, right before 1538. This is where he put it in Discord and was tweeting, hey, I'm buying. And of course, immediately makes a big move because once again, low supply takes less demand. The 200,000 followers in Discord begin buying the stock, and he immediately sells. And he already owned shares. He had front loaded over 800,000 shares of the stock. Where was it? 825,000 shares of the stock he had already bought. So he wasn't buying here. That's just a blatant lie to get the stock price to go up. And as soon as it goes up, he sells. He's not adding, he's selling. He wants the price to move so that he can sell into you. Let's continue reading. But that's once again, that's the crux of all this, right? Low float stocks are easy to move. And that's what these people are doing. They're getting them to move. They're lying about buying so that the stock moves so that they can sell. That's what I want you guys to read from all this. And we'll continue to show more examples, obviously. On or about August 4th, the same day, on approximately 1543, Cooperman, this is another defendant, Tommy Coops, falsely claimed in a tweet that he was adding CEI here for a swing. Last time it touched these levels on the daily, we saw a move of 3+. Right. How often do you see tweets like this? In this post, Cooperman also claimed that there was lots of due diligence on Dio's Twitter account, another defendant. In or around this tweet, Cooperman was selling his shares in or around this tweet. He was selling his shares of CEI. So he already owned shares of CEI. And as he was tweeting this, he was selling. Closed his position at approximately 1545, 245, literally 1 minute after the tweet. He had closed his position for a profit of $3,400. 1 minute after he tweeted that he was buying, he was out of his position, locking in profits. Same thing, same day, at 4:06 and 4:15, Dio falsely claimed in Atlas Treyding Discord that he was holding and adding more. CEI, he was holding full into tomorrow. Prior to and after these messages, Dio had been consistently selling out of his positions of CEI. Once again, I'm holding. The whole kind of thing here was they were buying and they were holding. They were real diamond hands. They didn't sell into retail. They got this large following by pretending to be these traders that were diamond handsing these moves, but they were selling them immediately. They would front load, tweet, and immediately sell. 1 minute later, they'd be full out of their positions. They weren't holding anything. As they're saying, they're holding and adding more, holding full into tomorrow. They're selling. They're selling out of the positions. They're not holding, they're selling. The next day at 11:11, Dio falsely claimed in a tweet, "Don't panic on CEI and tag me every 20 minutes. It's a swing. I'm adding all day." This is the same deal that we just got confirmation. Once again, this is the Department of Justice. They have access to their transaction history. This is not made up. The Department of Justice is telling us what's going on here. I alerted this at 46. We're holding nicely under 50. I think we get close to 50. The hint to PR tomorrow too. At approximately 11:47. So this time, okay, it's actually 36 minutes later. Wow, you held for 36 minutes after your tweet. This time, let's look at August 5th at 11:11 as well. This is 11:11 right here behind my head. And then as he's tweeting, and I'm sure as other Discord, they're just using him, but I'm sure they're spamming the Discord too. He pumps it up. He sells into the pump, right? Selling approximately 500,000 shares at an approximate price of 51 cents and an approximate profit of $38,000. So Deal maybe actually has a little bit more, cojones than his compadres in Cooperman and Matlock, who sold 1 minute later for 11,000 and 3,000. Deal actually got it pumping and held it for an entire 35 minutes, even though he said it was a swing trade and he wasn't selling, but he did end up making $37,565 in that false claim that he was buying the stock still / holding the stock still. On or about August 11th, and after he had closed his position on CEI, Coop falsely claimed in a tweet that he was still holding. And on swings like CEI, you guys think that me not saying anything means I'm not in. It doesn't. I just don't see the need to keep tweeting or pushing swings. Let them do their thing. When the move happens and we bank, I'll let you know. This is August 11th. This is now, 7 days after Cooperman had already sold and apparently not taken any more trades, not documented in the document at least. He's out there tweeting stuff like that, right? You guys are bothering me about swings. Don't bother me about swings. Yeah, I already locked in my profit a long time ago, but don't bother me about swings, right? In or around September 2021, certain of the defendants continued seeking pump and dump CEI by publishing false messages on Twitter and the Discord in order to sell their own shares of profit. For example, on or about September 10th at 2:45, Matlock purchased approximately 130,000 shares at $150 a share. At approximately 15:46, literally a minute later, Matlock claimed in Discord that CEI is looking good. And then 30 seconds... let's get a recap here. Matlock, the president, founder, whatever he called himself, of Atlas, 2:45, buys 130,000 shares. At 2:46 and 30 seconds, he says it's looking good. And at 2:47, 2 minutes after he bought and 30 seconds after he said it looks good, he sold all of his shares at 151.1. He made 0.04 cents on that for an approximate profit of $165. What? He bought, 30 seconds later, tweeted. 30 seconds after that, sold, all for 0.04 cents, all for a profit of $165. He probably didn't even make after fees. There's no way he even made money on that. They're not even good at pumping and dumping. Like, what? In or around, sorry, I haven't read through all this specifically because I kind of like my live reactions to be on video. Crazy. In or around September 21, certain of the defendants falsely claimed to be holding shares when they were not. For example, and I'm not going to read through all of these. I'll read through one, and you guys can obviously see it here, and you guys can read yourself, I'm sure. On September 1st, Cooperman tweeted, "When me and Zach Morris, blah, blah, blah." These are all the Twitter handles of other defendants in the court case that have been called out here. "Are in something, you strap your," and I'm just going to read it. "You strap your fucking boner pants on and you say thank you." By the way, can we talk about how in a Department of Justice court document, strap your fucking boner pants on is in it? That's fantastic. But look at it, dude. This is. And while this was going on, I've been streaming over on Twitch. Good plug now. Good job, Trey. I've been streaming over on Twitch for over 2 years. This was like the crux of when all this was happening. I was telling everybody I could tell that these guys were full of shit. And not only were they full of shit, they're like, rubbing it in. You put your boner pants on and you say thank you. None of them even own the stock anymore. The guy who tweeted this, Coop, had sold his shares like 11, 12 days ago at this point. Wasn't even in the stock anymore. It's just great. They're pumping and dumping this crap and they're rubbing it in your face like they're some kind of gods, right? And once again, I'm not going to continue reading through all of them. On September, the same time frame, they falsely claimed in tweets that CEI could reach $10. A lot of you guys probably remember this. I remember actually subtweeting Zach Morris when he did this about how stupid that was. And hopefully people don't want to listen to beginner traders, market participants, let me put it this way, don't want to listen to that, right? They just want to be told what to buy. They just want to be told, oh my God, this stock that I own at $3 could go to 10. No way, man. This guy has 500,000 followers. He obviously knows what he's talking about. And that's how you get sucked into it. People want to be told what to buy. And they want trading to just be buying rocket ships. So they go and chase this crap that people with a lot of followers all of a sudden supposed to have this some kind of referendum power, right? Because they have these followers. They suck in these beginner traders, and then as you've seen from the examples that I have shown, are immediately dumping into them. Once again, I'm not going to sit here and read through all this. Wow, we're already 17 minutes into this. Time flies when you're having fun, but once again, and I don't want to say none of this is great. All of this is awful. The pumping and dumping is awful. I hope none of you all got stuck into it, but it's what good does come out of this is case studies like this. I get to make a video about how these people are pumping and dumping these stocks, how a pump and dump works. You get to see the inner workings of a pump and dump because the Department of Justice is publishing their trades around their tweets and their Discord messages. You got to see the inner workings of how a pump and dump works. And please, like I said, I have linked this document in the description down below. And there is, I believe it's 12, like I said earlier, it's either 11 or 12 cases of other like ABVC. If I continue, UPC, there's a bunch of examples, ALZN. So go down to the document if you want to learn more about how pump and dumps work. Go down, read through the examples that the Department of Justice is giving you so that in the future, you now have the tools at your disposal, the information at your disposal to not get stuck in crappy pump and dump securities fraud bullshit in the future. Like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next one.